Hello, everyone. Today we were talking about three really important but under the radar strategies for creative ways to use live videos to nurture and convert your audience that, like I said, are kind of under the radar. I don't see them being used as much as I would like. And the best part about these that I'm going to share today is that they don't require a ton of time, but they do provide a ton of value. So I'm going live here right now. If you are watching with me live, drop me a hashtag live, or if you're watching the replay, you can drop me a hashtag replay. Let me know where in the world you're watching from as well. So here's the thing about live video. Most people, when they go live and they talk about pain points that their audience have. They talk about the transformation that their audience wants, and they try to help and give, good tips and strategies and all that good stuff. Like, that's all amazing, and you should be doing that. So, for example, if you are a dog trainer who is creating videos, maybe you're focusing on the pain points for your audience. You're talking about how you want to get your dog to sit and stay and be able to obey basic commands, right? That's a big pain point. Or maybe you've got a puppy that's biting or being house trained. You're highlighting and helping people with all those pain points. But you also might be focusing on the transformation. You might be, talking about how they can become a master trainer or how they can teach their raise their dream dog. I'm watching a ton of dog videos lately because I have a brand new puppy that we adopted named Clancy. He's super cute. Watching all these dog videos, hence why we're talking about them. Or maybe you're a personal trainer who is focusing on the pain points with their audience where they don't have enough time to work out, or they feel like they need fancy equipment, or they have an injury they're working through. And so those are the pain points you focus on. And the transformation you're highlighting is, being able to fit into that amazing dress that they have, and or a certain weight loss goal or a performance goal, like doing 100 push-ups, whatever it looks like. That's a really common thing. We see people highlighting pain points and transformations and giving tips and strategies. All of it's awesome, not knocking it all. I personally do it myself. I'm kind of doing it in this video right now. But it's fun to mix up some other and new types of content. And so again, I'm going to be highlighting stuff that isn't as traditional as you have seen and can kind of mix things up because it can get boring doing the same thing over and over. And someone watching here saying, I'm a dog trainer on here. Oh, that's so awesome. Cool. Well, let me know if I hit those pain points. I'm watching a ton of dog videos. And I see Catherine's here also. Hey. All right. So first off, if you don't know who I am, my name is Alex. I'm a video marketing strategist living in Austin, Texas with my partner and my two doggos. And I've helped almost 2,000 entrepreneurs build really simple but amazing video strategies. And just so you know, if you stick around till the end, I am going to be sharing a bit about my live video challenge that's coming up. It's a free 7-day challenge. It's starting October 2nd, where I'm going to walk you step by step how to use live video. If you don't know how to use it yet, I'll give more details at the end on that, and the link is in the description. But let's dive into these three strategies that I have been talking to you all about. So the first strategy that I am going to go through with you all today is Q&A sessions. So this is one of my absolutely favorite ones because, again, it doesn't require a lot of prep. And essentially what you're doing is you are going live for your audience and you're showing up with a service mindset. You're showing up to answer whatever questions your audience has on your whatever topics that you are, teaching on, whatever topics in your industry are relevant. And so the reason why this is such a powerful strategy is because, again, it doesn't require a lot of prep, but problem solving for people, for your audience, is one of the best ways to give them clarity, to help them understand why the solution you have is the right solution, why they need to take action now, and get them unstuck, get them into action-taking mode, and get them seeing you as that person who is helping them get into action-taking mode, which is huge. Most content out there is just giving information, and that's fine. But the content that is solving problems for people and helping them get unstuck is some of the best content. And Q&As are one of the best ways to do it because you're not guessing how to help solve their problem. You are directly in that moment showing up as an act of service to solve that problem. And so this is one of the best ways. Let me know in the comments. I'm really, really curious. Has anybody done Q&As before? You can just comment yes or no if you have done them. But if you're someone who's like a little bit nervous about doing Q&As and you're not sure, like, are people going to ask questions? Is anybody going to even show up? One of the best practices is to kind of post a question thread beforehand. So I would just do a post in your Facebook group or send out an email to your email list and ask them to, submit a question in advance so that when you do go live, you are able to then just address the questions that are there and then address questions that are coming up as well. Another thing that I get a lot of times when I recommend this is people sometimes are worried, like, am I going to freeze up? Like, what if I don't know the answer to a question? And here's the thing, being able to respond at a high caliber with confidence, with a really compelling and appropriate answer is a skill set, right? It's a muscle that you develop, right? It's a lot of times, like, even when you do know the answer, sometimes you freeze up because you're nervous and there's a lot of stimuli. There's a lot of stuff going on during that. And you worry about how you're articulating it. Let me know if this is resonating with you. But it's a muscle you've got to build. So, like, prep as much as you can, but don't worry if you can't completely prep every single question. Like, go in understanding that it's practice responding in the moment. And worst case scenario, you can always circle back. Like, if there's really a question that you're like, I don't know how to answer this, I need to circle back, you can say, hey, look, let me table this from now. I want to check on a couple of things and I will come back to you with a thoughtful response. Awesome. Cool. So I hope this is helpful for you. This is the first, I think, underrated thing that I don't think enough people who are creating video are doing for their audience. Last tip on this, besides for posting a little question thread too, is just make sure people know when to show up. Give a specific date and time, create an event, email out your list, make sure people know so you're not just going live and no one has actually showed up. This is one of those things where, like, you want people to actually be able to be there or to have questions that have been submitted in advance for this to be particularly effective. Okay, cool. All right. So that is part 1 of 3. We're going to move on to the next piece and the next underrated strategy, which is doing behind the scenes lives. This is one of my favorite things to do. Let me know if you've ever done a behind the scenes live, but essentially it is when you are taking your audience, as it sounds, behind the scenes. You are showing them something, a piece of your process that they might not have seen before, or that they might be curious about, or that they might not get to see. And so for behind the scenes things that kind of work really, really well, and I'm actually going to give you some examples in this of behind the scenes stuff that I have done for my audience, for you guys. You guys might have seen this before if you're not new. But a couple things. So the first idea for creating behind the scenes videos for your audience is, number 1, sharing your process and sharing about how you personally practice what you preach, right? So if you're a dog trainer who preaches X, go and show people how you are doing that thing with your dog. I am someone who preaches using my highly converting video script to write out my scripts in 15 minutes or less. It's not even a script. It's more of a flow. I'm just using that word script, but it's a 15-minute or less process. So me practicing what I preach, I do that every week. The same process I show all of you in my memberships, in my YouTube videos, in my videos in this Video Marketing Hangout Facebook group that I'm also going live in. That's exactly what I practice. And so one example of taking my audience behind the scenes of this practice is in a video I created where I literally took people behind the scenes and showed them, all right, come watch me write this video script. And I'm actually going to show you this here right now. So you should be able to see my screen right now. Okay. So the video is titled, "Look Over My Shoulder as I Write My Own Video Script in Less Than 20 Minutes." Right? And so during this, you can see I am here. You can see me talking about I don't know why this is not updating in real time. Maybe it's because I'm streaming. That's fun. Either way, but you can see me talking about the event, and then you can literally see me go from blank page to like fully written script. Like I didn't prep anything in advance. It was just me going through my actual process. I wish this was loading better. I'm sorry about that. But you get the point. It's me walking through this script. And the thing is, right now, one of the problems with creators right now and coaches online right now is they say one thing and then they do another, where they're like, you need this strategy, and they don't use it themselves. Right? Or they're like, one of the funniest ones to me is when people are like, paid ads are terrible, and they're saying it in a paid ad. Right? We're like, you don't need paid ads, and they're running paid ads. And you're like, okay, that's a little weird. And I get there's different people are in different phases of business. So maybe they're talking about the beginning of the business, but either way, that's something people are sensitive to. Like, do you actually practice what you preach? Like, are you actually doing the things that you tell your students to do? And this is one of the ways that you do that. So go behind the scenes to show people how you use the same things that you are personally teaching. That's a super, super important way. So let me know if this makes sense. I see Elmira here saying practice what we preach. 100%. So that's one way to go behind the scenes. Another way to go behind the scenes is to do a live of showing or helping a client or a customer practice what you preach. So that means them getting to watch you coach or help someone in real time. So I'm going to share my screen again. And this time I'm going to show you guys a video of a recent mastermind I did with my Video Marketing Accelerator. It's my flagship program. And this is where we literally took the highly converting video script. It's the same script that I just showed you in the last video, but we in real time were writing out my students' scripts. And so an example of showing other people how you coach what you preach is, if I streamed this live, or if I, shared my screen and showed clips of me coaching this live. And so this is, again, really, really important. It's not just enough to talk about it. People need to see you in action in real time, especially if you are a coach, right? Like, people want to see what's the experience going to be like working with you. So that is the next piece to this. So far for the behind the scenes, we've talked about sharing exactly how you practice what you preach. We've talked about sharing how you help others practice what you preach. Another way that works really well for behind the scenes is sharing how you get ready to practice what you preach. So for example, for me, like, I could do a video, and I actually have done videos where I'm like taking a walk, or I am running or walking on the treadmill. And one of the things I do before a training that I'm nervous about, or one of the things I do before a mastermind or even a live video, is I'll run out my nervous energy. Like, I will literally do something physical. And I remembered I did a video once, literally taking people through that process of like what my ritual is before lives, what my ritual is before trainings. So that's another really good way to, create and show people the behind the scenes. And then lastly, we have before, what you do before you practice what you preach. And then we can also have videos on, the after you practice what you preach. I haven't actually done this yet. Some of these won't be 100% fit for every business, but take what resonates with you. If I wanted to use this, I could do videos on like, what do I do with my videos after I record them? Or, if I feel like something didn't go well, what do I do after? Or something did go really well, how do I maximize it? Another example of, the after, showing the behind the scenes of after you practice what you preach could be, if you're a health coach, like, you could show people like, what the heck do you do after your workouts? Like, what supplements do you take? What recovery stuff do you do? Like, what do things look like? What does the rest of your day look like? So these are, again, just like really, really easy things to do that people are curious about and interested in that isn't going to require a ton of time and energy in the creation process, but gives them a unique window that they haven't seen before. Okay, so let me pause here. Let me take a breath. Let me know what your takeaways have been so far on this video. And we are going to go through one more strategy. And this is a really, really good one. So this last strategy is all about leadership moments. Right? This is kind of an underrated one. And when I say leadership moments, these are moments when you have the opportunity to, in real time, show people how you like to respond to things without having a lot of time to think about them. So with a lot of times videos that we do, like they're scripted out and we have time to think about what we're going to say. And there's just a lot of thought that goes into it versus the leadership opportunities. There's events that you are commenting on that are happening in real time, and you are commenting on them as they are happening versus waiting until everybody else has commented and then giving your opinion. So this could be where you're celebrating really high highs for yourself, for your industry. It could be celebrating, or sorry, not celebrating, but commenting on really low lows or things that are happening in your industry. And I say it's a leadership moment because it's an opportunity to be a light in a time that's kind of dark for people. But also a leadership moment could be like uniting people and showing them, a really vulnerable and honest side, even when things are going well. So let me give some examples. So some examples of this could be, spontaneous lives when things go well or not so well. So let's start when things go well. So first off, people freaking love on social media celebrating wins. Like they love celebrating birthdays and if you say it's my birthday tomorrow, like 1 million people are going to be like, happy birthday. Like it gets so much traction when you have these huge moments in your life. People love to celebrate. So get keyed into those moments. So for example, this year on one of my events, I had over 100 people sign up in like less than 24 hours. So that was a opportunity for me to go live and be like, I'm so excited. Help me celebrate this thing. And here's a little behind the scenes of how I made it happen. So I'm commenting in real time on what's going on. Or another time this year, I moved from Boston to Austin, and I had, during that move, when I was like so overwhelmed, I had the highest grossing revenue month that I had all year while I was moving. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening, even when, I haven't even been working that much. And like, it's all this work that I've put into it. So again, me celebrating, sharing the behind the scenes. Another example could be like when I've had clients have really big wins and I'm super excited and there's a lot of energy, like I'll get on live and share a little bit about something like this. So again, it's a leadership moment because it's an opportunity for you to show people how you want to be known, how you want to show up, who you want to be, and share with them a little bit about you. So those are some of the highs. Very cool. And let me share a little bit about because on the opposite end, there's some of the lows, which could be a lot harder. Like when hard stuff happens, like when there's stuff like when wars are happening or when COVID happens, or like there's real stuff that's like hurting people in a deep way, like and you have to show up. Like that's a hard thing to know sometimes, how to show up in those moments. So there's those extreme moments where you could be showing up, but then there's like smaller moments too. Like I'll give an example. One of my clients who is a grief coach, she helps parents help their children through grief, right? So she's like helping these parents give them the skills to help their kids get through grief. And there was a point this year where one of the biggest streamers on YouTube had passed away. I can't remember who it was. But she was like, oh man, these kids, they're going to be upset. They're going to know about, about that this happened. Right. And she was like, I'm going to do a live and I'm going to talk about what to do if your kid is upset that this happened and how to respond to your kid's grief and like what to tweak in your household. So that's an example of like her showing up as a leader to her community and responding to an event that is happening in real time. Another really good example that all of you might remember is when Instagram and Facebook got shut down for an entire day. Like that was a pretty big event for a lot of people, and I think it shocked a lot of people. And like, wow, like what do I do with myself? Like what would happen if my social media shut down? What would happen to my business if social media never came back? And there were a lot of people that I saw step up as leaders during that time and give their take on like, all right, well, like this is an opportunity to look at the holes in your business. This is an opportunity to evaluate certain things. And it was really refreshing to hear that. So how you step up during the high highs and the low lows with your audience is really important. Not every single thing needs to be prepped and needs to be thought out to the 100th degree. Like sometimes like trusting yourself to show up and just showing up is enough and shows that you do care. And every time you are going live is an act of service, right? It's not a selfish thing. It's something that you're doing to help your community and to help other people, right? So don't feel like you need to plan the heck out of everything. Know that like there are times just going live, the best thing you can do is respond to what is going on and start creating conscious content that comments on what is happening in your audience's world. Awesome. All right, good to see you. We got a lot of comments here. Let me look through these. See, Amira saying you've given me so many ideas. Nathan saying, how big is your team? I really don't have a big team. I have a VA and I have one person that helps me a couple hours a week with some content. But I am like a big believer in like I'm still very bootstrapped. I'm still very like very, very small. And I intend to be that way for a long time. So you do not need a huge team to get things off the ground if you're smart about it. Cool. Someone else, I'm not sure who this is, loving these ideas. Awesome. Perfect. All right. Well, I hope today was super, super helpful for you. We talked about doing Q&A sessions. We talked about doing behind the scenes. We talked about showing up in these moments of leadership, the high highs and the low lows. And if you want me to walk you through step by step, like how to use live video to grow and nurture your audience, don't forget that starting this Sunday, October 2nd, we have the free 7-day live video marketing challenge happen every single day. I'm going to go live and I'm going to share another key to highly converting live videos. It's going to be a blast. And this is the last challenge of 2022, right? I usually run this every couple of months, but it will not be run again for quite a while. Definitely not until 2023. And even then it's not going to be again for a little time. So this is the most updated version of this, the most recent version of this. I'm going to have my students come on and share behind the scenes of like how they're using the scripts and the tools and the techniques. We're going to have all those amazing case studies and just a lot of really cool opportunities to learn and grow together as a community. So I'm super excited. If you're coming to this, just comment I'm in. Let me know you are there. The link to sign up if you are not signed up yet is in the description of this video. Otherwise, I hope you all have a wonderful day wherever you are watching in the world, and I will see you all very soon.